premeditated murder is the most serious charge tried in our criminal courts.
Now, these are facts. You can't refute facts. The kid is guilty.
In the event that you find the accused guilty, the death sentence is mandatory in this case.
He's 18 years old. He's still got to pay for what he did.
12 Angry Men is a classic movie that exemplifies many aspects of social psychology in a complex and realistic setting. It features a group of jurors who must decide the fate of a teenage boy from the slums accused of murdering his father. The role of conformity is the major aspect found in this movie that seems to be very influential and powerful and is accurately displayed. For example, the initial vote was taken publicly and was susceptible to normative social influence or conformity due to a fear of appearing deviant. As they voted by raising their hands, several of the jurors who later expressed that they weren't sure the boy was guilty looked around to see how other people were voting. But when the ballot was secret and anonymous, some of them didn't comply.
Not guilty.
Informational social influence is seen when juror number 8 and others who voted not guilty start piecing the facts together to create an ambiguous setting they think is valid of the night of the murder. It's interesting how near the end, when the vote was 10-2 not guilty to guilty, juror number 4 changed his vote to not guilty due to a strong informational influence. This suggests that there was a strong pressure to conform to the majority. Just as stereotypes lead to a biased way of interpreting the evidence, they also lead to a confirmation bias, which is the tendency to only seek information that confirms your expectations and ignore disconfirming information. For example, many of the jurors initially expected that the boy was guilty, and so they only remembered the details in the case that supported that expectation.
No, well, wait a second. He said he ran. At least I think he did. Look, I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could have run to the door.
He said he went from his bedroom to the front door. Now, isn't that enough?
Where was the bedroom?
It was down the hall somewhere.
I thought you remembered everything. Don't you remember that?
No.
For example, the jurors failed to notice the significant details such as the way the old man walked with a limp and the female eyewitness and marks on her eyes that were caused by glasses. That being said, eyewitness testimonies are not really reliable since we tend to fill in the missing information with what we think seems to appear right.
1 second later, right?
That's right.
Second. The woman across the street swore positively she looked out of the window and saw the killing through the last 2 cars of a passing elevated train, right? The last 2 cars.
Well, what are you giving us here?
Just a minute. Since the woman saw the killing through the last 2 cars, we can assume that the body hit the floor just as the train went by. Therefore, the train had been roaring by the old man's window a full 10 seconds before the body hit the floor. The old man, according to his own testimony, "I'm going to kill you," body hitting the floor a split second later, would have had to hear the boy make this statement with the yell roaring past his nose. It's not possible.
The film also accurately displays aspects of attributions and biases. For example, actor-observer bias is shown when the boy screamed out loud, "I'll kill you." Juror number 3 was adamant that the boy must have really meant he was going to kill his father, because no one just says that, which is an example of internal attribution. However, when juror number 8 insulted juror 3 by calling him a sadist, he got mad and said, "I'm going to kill you."
Not because of the fact. You're a sadist. You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Juror number 3 explains that he didn't mean it, but he was forced into this outburst by the situation, an external attribution, so it was just the situation that elicited his expression. It's clear that many of the jurors had stereotypes about kids who grew up in the slums and who belonged to certain minority groups. Not only did these stereotypes influence the jurors' tendency to make internal attributions for the boy's behavior, but these stereotypes also led to biased interpretations of the evidence.
You're not going to tell me you believe that phony story about losing the knife and that business about being at the movies? Look, you know how these people lie? It's born in them.
However, juror number 8 explained how the boy had been slapped around all his life and was treated poorly. This kind of thinking leads to more external attributions. Social loafing is another aspect of social psychology that's displayed accurately. For example, juror number 7 often provides inadequate, effortless responses when confronted about his opinion.
It's all been said. You can talk here forever. It's still the same thing. This kid is 5 for 0.
Overall, this mid-18th century movie and play by Reginald Rose does an extraordinary job on accurately displaying aspects of social psychology found in a trial by jury.